do you think like really clicked for this team since that point? Was it just Christian McCaffrey unlocking like a different gear to this team, or was it bigger than just one player, you
Clicked.
think?
I think it was bigger than one player. Like Christian McCaffrey came in and all of a sudden, no, I mean, I think this team was, I think it's a great team. They've been on the doorstep for like 4 years. And I think what happened the first month of the year, I mean, there were excuses, but it was almost like, what the hell was that, guys? It felt like maybe, they didn't play their guys in preseason, and there wasn't a clear-cut identity of what they were trying to do on offense with Trey Lance, and they were kind of trying to feel it out, and George Kittle was hurt.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of excuses, but it felt like the first month and a half was kind of throwaway. And then all of a sudden, they caught their stride, and it was like, okay, this is the team that everyone picked to win the NFC, and now they're there. But, yeah, the reason they're playing in Philly is because they messed around. Or I don't know what you want to call what they did the first month and a half of the season, but there were injuries. I feel like it's kind of the 49ers formula. Like, go light in training camp, go light in preseason. Don't get injured before the games. So the injuries, it's like your choice is get injured in preseason or at training camp, or get injured the first 4 weeks of the season. Like, they take that and they try to like rally at the bye week, and it works.
Right.
It's worked 2 years in a row, so I can't knock them for it.
Yeah, let's hope their bye week is maybe a little earlier so they can get things going a little earlier. But George Kittle, he was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, and he kind of alluded to that too, like how they started the season kind of slow. I mean, he talked about the fact that, like, with Trey Lance, they kind of did have to learn some different things, be a different type of offense in a way.
Be more like Philly.
Yeah, like to fit Lance's strengths. It's not an entirely different offense, but it is kind of. And then having to adjust back to everything they were trying to do with Lance, back to Jimmy Garoppolo, and they got their stride, of course, after that. But yeah, I get it now. I think there was a lot of adjustments to that, along with like the injuries as we talked about, but. Obviously, this win streak did start with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. Brock Purdy has defied all odds and has kept this team rolling. And I tend to think there's plenty that Brock Purdy is doing that Jimmy Garoppolo just wouldn't. Like looking downfield first, always going through his progressions. He's shown that ability to escape the pocket. He's pretty agile for a quarterback, so he won't get in those third and long situations because for the most part, he is pretty good at avoiding those sacks. So this is the most well-rested I think I've seen Kyle Shanahan. I don't know about you, but he just looks like he's getting sleep these days, and I think it's because he finally has a quarterback that he has full trust in.
Yeah, it's like he almost trusts Brock too much. He came out passing against Dallas, and like Juszczyk said that the players had to go up to their position coaches and to Kyle directly and say, "Hey, can we run the ball, please?" And it's like they never would have had to say that with Jimmy Garoppolo at the quarterback because Kyle didn't trust him. But now, like, Kyle loves Brock Purdy. And I don't know what I mean. I think it's Brock Purdy is an extension of his ego in a sense. No offense, but it's like, look what I can do with the last pick in the draft. You know what I mean? It's like too tempting, and it's right up Kyle's. Yeah, it's totally showing off. It's like him doing his like guitar solo. Like, it's like, dude, you can just play the few chords that we do and play the hits, and we'll win. Come on, chill. It's not about you; it's about us. And I think that's what they had to tell him. But yeah, what were you talking about, Brock? What makes him? So you said he kept the thing rolling, the team rolling. I think he elevated it. And I think the one thing that he does really, really super well that maybe people don't give him enough credit for is extending plays and then making plays. Not just getting away from the pass rush, but not just so he could throw the ball away, which like Alex Smith could do. Like getting away from the pass rush and then setting his feet and then seeing George Kittle way on the other side who's not even in the progression and then hitting him. Like that was a game-changing explosive play that he kind of created, him and Kittle. Created two great. I mean, I don't know. So to me, that's what kind of elevates him from like game manager with a questionable skill set to playmaker and borderline like top 15 starting quarterback in the league right now.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Right now. Yeah.
I mean, the stats back it up. If you look at what he's done since he became the starter, he is first in a number of categories actually among quarterbacks. So it has been pretty impressive. But despite all that, like there's a lot of people who talk about Purdy being a product of Shanahan and this offense. And, well, of course he's going to look this good. For one, I think this is the best that we've seen any 49ers quarterback operate this offense, right?
No
And two,
question.
I think you can make the argument that Purdy is helping Shanahan out a little bit as well, right? Like that's probably not talked about enough.
They're helping
Shanahan,
each other.
I believe, exactly. Shanahan earlier this week, he said that every week it gets easier and easier to call plays for Brock Purdy. And I think it goes back to the trust factor, the fact that Purdy can do these little things, these extra little things that, weren't available to Shanahan before necessarily. So I think that's the difference with this offense right now.
I mean, you saw how much pressure Brock Purdy was under in this game against Dallas. I mean, he didn't get sacked that much. He didn't like dice him up under pressure, but he didn't make it worse. He got away from negative plays. He didn't turn the ball over. And he's a rookie. I mean, forget that he's the last pick in the draft, whatever. He's a freaking rookie. And what he's doing is like never, ever, 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 ever been done before. So yeah, Kyle's helping him for sure. So is Kittle. So is the whole team. But I don't think you can really minimize what Brock Purdy's doing. It's unprecedented.